This episode is all about how to purchase real estate with a self-directed IRA. Stick with me here. Like everything else, when you do something for the first time, it's not so easy. But you do it a couple of times, it becomes a piece of cake. We're going to be talking about how to contract a property and how to fund the purchase of a property from your self-directed IRA. Stick with us until the end, and our sponsor, Tax Free Future, will give you a gift that I'm sure you're going to appreciate. It's really not that hard. If you have a self-directed IRA, then when you're writing a contract on a property, you just put the buyer as the exact name of your self-directed IRA. So whatever that name is of your retirement plan, that will be the buyer. So let's talk about how to contract a property into your self-directed IRA or your self-directed retirement plan. It's pretty simple, really. Use the state promulgated forms. That's what I do. You know, I'm in the state of Texas. I use the state promulgated forms or the TREC forms, Texas Real Estate Commission forms. They're designed by the state for the real estate broker agent community. They're a standard form for all realtors out there, and everybody knows how to use them, and all the title companies know what they say and what they mean, and everyone's very comfortable with them. So you use that contract to go out and to buy a property. Now, if you want to put it in your self-directed IRA, then you just have to put the exact name of your IRA in that contract as the buyer. And now it's going to closing, and that property will be brought into the IRA and under its ownership. Now, different companies prefer it different ways. So when I'm filling out my contract to buy a property into my self-directed IRA, it would read TFF for the benefit of Mitch Stephen IRA. TFF standing for Tax Free Future for the benefit of Mitch Stephen IRA. There you go. It's that simple. I'd like to point out before we move on to the next topic of how to fund a property out of your IRA that it's probably raising a lot of questions. So please, if you have questions, just ask them in the comments down below. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Let's talk about how to fund the purchase of a property from your IRA. First of all, most of the time, and I like it best, when your IRA just has enough cash in it to write a check to own the property. But that's not always possible. But did you know that IRAs can borrow money? The trick is there can be no personal guarantee. It has to be a collateral-only loan. And this will also trigger some not so normal bookkeeping stuff that has to be done, but your bookkeeper, your CPA should handle that. That's not the issue. You can borrow money, your IRA can borrow money, but it can't sign a personal guarantee. If the IRA borrows money, it has to be a collateral-only non-recourse loan. This brings me to a point that's very interesting because, you know, I've said before, I have about $26 million in private lenders. Guess where most of those private lenders are getting their money? They're getting it out of their self-directed retirement plans to loan it to me so this retirement plan can stop gambling in the stock market and stop making just 1% at the bank. They've self-directed their IRAs or their 401ks or their health savings plans or their medical plans. They've self-directed them so that they could take control of their financial future and they decide how much money their money is going to make and what they're going to loan on it and under what conditions. I get about 85% of all the money I borrow from my lender's IRA. They're doing it, and you can do it too. It works both ways. You can borrow money from them in your IRA, or your IRA could lend out to other people. This is one of the reasons why I love those 37 little video vignettes that taxfreefuture.com, the sponsor of these episodes, do, because it explains in detail all the different things you can do, and it is amazing. There's a reason why the rich get richer. It's because they study and they talk and they learn and they know the laws and they know the regulations, and the rules are all the same for all of us. The people that are complaining about the rich get richer is because they're not doing what the rich do. The rich study money. They study tax deferment. They study how to mitigate their business propositions legally and fair, but they study. And all that information is available to you. It's available to anybody. And if you're not getting richer, It's because you're not doing what rich people do. So let's learn what the rich are doing. Go to taxfreefuture.com and I want you to download their free ebook. And I also want you to fill out the little micro form. And I promise you they're not going to beat you up with a bunch of emails and solicitation calls. They need a little micro information and they're going to give you 37 video vignettes that'll blow your mind. I love the ones about taking a little bit of money and making them into a lot of money in a very short period of time. There are definite strategies. I've used them. I know they work. I use them all the time. I use them as often as I can. Check it out, taxfreefuture.com, and go get your free ebook.